Hey, world builders, welcome back to Build Together. This is day 75. Today's prompt is, what was a war that occurred in your world that had a relatively short duration, let's say 10 or less years? So using data view, I actually have a timeline. And so the document I wrote is relatively short, but I added it to the timeline. And it takes place in the year 2320 in the Age of Vala, a decent chunk of time before the current Age of Nations, actually. And it is the downfall of the Gnomish clans. Now, around this time, you had three nations towards the central portion of the continent that leaned towards the eastern portion of the continent, and that was on the far east, the Belagul nation, which has been around for thousands of years. It's the longest lived nation of anyone there, even over Zohair. And then next to them, you have the Gnomish clans. They didn't really have a name for their nation at the time. That was just what they were called. And then to their west was the Nomalian nation of Tugikus, which no longer exists. But at one point, the Elves of Belagul and the Nomalians of Tugakus, or Tugakus, sort of developed this allyship, this coalition, and over the course of like only 3 years, completely wiped out the Gnomish clans in a very brutal war that ended with them being effectively subsumed into the Tugakus nation and the Belagulian nation as glorified slaves. And this began the long running Gnomish oppression, which has then led to them having their own nation granted them by Zohair in sort of the frigid north. But things are better for them now, but they have been rough for millennia for the gnomes in Atobia. And that's what I wrote today. What is a war that lasted a relatively short duration in your world? Thanks for building together.